How's it going?
Good.
Yay.
How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me here in
Okay. Yeah, here we are
Thinking
on
Cup.
this podcast at the Thinking Cup. So,
First public
mm,
podcast?
first public podcast.
Nice. Nice.
So, Thomas, thank you for being here. I would love to hear more about your creative life. You're always running around. You're a friend that I've always known to be never in the same place for too long. So tell me what brings you to those cool places and what do you do?
Yeah. I work as a I don't know, I feel like broadly work in film and TV production. Um I work as a photographer and a camera operator on a PBS travel program, so fortunately most of my travel is paid for by someone else,
Nice.
which is I would recommend it
You got
if
all
you
of
can
that.
figure that one out. Definitely a plus. Um But yeah, so I've been doing that for 4 years now. Been a lot around the U.S., everywhere from the PNW and Portland, Oregon, like places like that. Done out and around L.A. We've been South Dakota and Michigan, and we've been up in the Northeast and New Hampshire and Rhode Island, all over the place, as well as some international stuff.
Do you have any goals about like what places you want to go or the amount of places you want to go? Like, are you setting off on some larger form goal with that?
I don't know if I have a end goal per se. I'm at the point now where I feel like I can't think of somewhere I'd really say no to going. I've seen 49 of the 50 states, so I'd like to get the
Wow.
last one. I'd like to get Hawaii. That'd be a fun just check it off.
Mhm.
Um,
What's holding you back from Hawaii right now?
it's far, yeah. Just finding the time,
Mhm.
but I feel like next time I'm in LA, I like the idea of like just an overnight little cheap flight to Hawaii just to say I've been. Um, but yeah, so I'm definitely I'm liking the idea of more international travel for the
Mhm.
future, but a lot of the time I get the call and they're like, "Here's where we're going," and I'm like, "Okay, it's not up to me."
So you're
So
part of this like as it's is it a position that you have as a job where
yeah,
like
I mean, it's contract work, but it's a
okay.
PBS travel program.
Okay.
So I mean, it's this production company. The host Samantha Brown and her husband produce the whole thing in house themselves. So it's
Mhm.
like a mom and pop TV show
Yeah.
kind of vibe. Um, so I contract through them to make the show. We
Okay.
do like 5 to 6 trips a year. It's not a full time thing.
Mhm.
So I fill in the gaps elsewhere,
Yeah.
but it is a lot of fun. And yeah, I do travel for myself as well in the midst of that. So sometimes I'm choosing where I'm going,
Travel.
but yeah,
But usually it's like, all right, this is where we're going. Here you go.
here's what we're doing.
Where's the craziest place that it's taken you,
Well,
in your opinion?
I just got probably Jerusalem. Israel was kind of wild, and we were there in May of last year, so
Okay.
it was I don't know, a few months before everything happened at the end of last year in October. So that it we weren't in danger or anything. It was a very different place than I had ever been. It was my first time being somewhere where the language on the billboards was not something I could even guess at how to say.
Yeah.
It's like I can read
Different
Spanish
alphabet,
and at least
right?
maybe pronounce it, but
Yeah.
Hebrew, no,
Mhm.
no shot.
Just
um, so that was
wow.
interesting. That was like a
So
unique experience for
you were
sure.
there for work.
Yeah, we were there for 5 or 6 days. It was a bit of a longer trip because of time zones and whatnot.
Okay.
But
Did you bring gear?
yeah. So we were filming everything. We had, I mean, we travel with like 30 cases of camera equipment or something. It's a bit of a
Wow.
hassle.
Okay.
It's mostly not mine, but once we're all together in the location, I have to help. I'm helping the camera guys
It's part of
carry
the
stuff.
part of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
job.
for sure. I mean, I'm. It's a small crew. There's only 8 of us, including the host.
Okay.
So
So it's a small
for
team.
sure, it's the host and her stylist. There's a director and a producer, A camera, B camera, sound guy, and then me. So
Cool.
like I do. I came on when I first started doing just still photography and DIT, which
Mhm.
is all the data transfer at the end of the day. So the camera guys give me all their SD cards and the drones and like whatever, and I transfer all of the footage into folders on the hard drives that go to the editors.
Okay.
So that was how things started. That was my primary role, and then obviously just like helping out,
Mhm.
extra pair of hands kind of thing. So carrying
Just
bags,
on the
helping
show.
change lenses,
Mhm.
batteries, whatever. And now that I've been around for a while, though, I'm basically like a third camera, which is cool. So I'm like shooting pretty much every scene. I'm helping with B-roll and doing some of my own stuff as well, which
Mhm.
is cool because it feels like there's been value in sticking with it.
Yeah. your main gig right now?
Yeah, that's what takes up the majority of my time. But it is sporadic. So, I just moved to New York City.
Hmm.
So now I'm embedding myself there because I don't have a ton of contacts and I'm trying to make more of them.
Yeah.
So hit me up.
Yes. So I've been following your videos. So
Yes.
those take place in New York typically, right? But
Pretty
you
much, yeah.
have done some like vlogging here and there with your travels, right?
A little bit, yeah. I just got back from Costa Rica and I
Hmm.
filmed all of that. I was there for work, but also I stayed with my friend Tomas, who you know.
Hmm.
I stayed with Tomas for almost 2 weeks. So it's more honestly filming that than it was the work stuff because I was busy working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I set myself the challenge at the beginning of the year to make one video every month. May did not happen,
Yeah.
but we're working. I didn't let it end because I missed a month. So
Yeah.
that
And
was
then
the goal.
your recovery video jumping back in was
Yeah,
very you addressed it,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
that one, can you tell us about that video
Yeah,
and we can even link it
sure, sure,
as well
sure.
if that's okay?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that only happened because I was like, I have no ideas, and I need to make this by tomorrow. So it
It
really
was one of your
was.
more dramatic
The video
videos. It
was
was well produced. It was
like my phone from one angle for 5 minutes.
yeah. Was it the tree
um,
hugging one?
no, 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 no. That was the recovery video. So like after basically missing a month, I didn't want the video that came after that to be a cop out. So I put more
Okay.
effort into that one for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But I thought you were talking about the post-it note one. The
Oh.
oh,
What's the post-it note
that
one?
was the one I made in June that was like, hey, I didn't make a video in May, but this is a video that counts. And here's
Okay.
like I put some post-it notes up on like a whiteboard and just here's what I want to make for the next 6 months.
Wow. I
Um,
don't know if I saw that. I'll have to watch it.
it was one of the less exciting ones. I'll be honest. But yeah, that came about because I had no time. The tree one was more planned out.
Yeah.
That one was
That was
like
very well
I
thought
wrote a
out.
script for that I sat with for a while and then just biked around Prospect Park and recorded myself saying it in like I think 3 different locations and
Mhm.
then filmed a bunch of B-roll and extra stuff. So that was really what that came from. Um, but yeah, I the problem I've been having doing this challenge is definitely leaving everything to the last minute, which is historically a problem for me
Yeah.
anyway. So
Mhm.
overall, it's been a good exercise in learning that.
So tell
Again,
us more about that. Like, so I recently also spoke about writer's block,
mm,
so I want to get your take on it. How you go through that when you have a spout of creativity that maybe you can't recover from, like it can be difficult. And I know you spoke about it in that video, but
mm,
can you talk a little bit more about your process and what happens when you feel stuck and how you get yourself out of that?
totally. It's definitely something I struggle with, as I think everyone who makes anything does, right, in one way or another. Um, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I have like a actual solution yet. I feel like I'm still trying to find out what that looks like. I don't have a cure all, I suppose. One of the things I liked about that video that I made was that I was like, I'm frustrated and creatively stuck. Well, that's something I can talk about because that
Hmm.
is actually what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
So I think that I've realized the videos that I enjoy making the most that are at least the ones that like involve me that don't involve a script or like it's not a narrative piece.
Hmm.
The things I enjoy the most and the ones that I think come out the best are the ones where I am just genuinely like speaking about whatever I'm going through or feeling or experiencing,
Hmm.
whether that's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Probably should do more about the positive stuff as well.
Hmm.
I think that's probably important. But I think
But
that
that's a part of it, right?
yeah,
Like
exactly,
it can't
exactly.
always be that, and it can the positive comes from the negative, I think, in a lot of times. Yeah.
And sometimes it's
So,
also having conversations about it. It's being
hmm.
like, man, I'm so frustrated. And it's like, oh, me too. And then like sometimes that conversation leads to an idea that you didn't think of, or maybe
Yeah.
your friend's got an idea, you know?
Hmm.
I like to talk about my problems. Which is I feel like generally a good thing. But,
Hmm.
certain people I go to for certain things and I feel like I trust certain people's opinions quite a lot. I like value that.
Hmm.
So I think whether it's something more, more personal or whether it is more creative, regardless, it's all kind of part of me.
Yeah.
So I find verbalizing things very useful, and a lot of the times I'm just talking and I'm rambling, and it's all coming up as I'm
Hmm.
saying it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that is how I feel. That is what I meant,
Yeah.
which is
It
nice.
just flows in that way.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that feels natural.
Do you find that when you're filming like these types of videos, especially for this like, is it a series? How would you refer to it?
At the beginning of the year when I started it, I was like, let me just do anything. I don't think it has to be related. It can be an excuse to mess with a bunch of different styles. I
Mhm.
haven't really done that. I think it's mostly just been me talking to the camera about random things.
Yeah.
Some more
But each
cohesive than
has a
others.
theme, right?
Yeah. So like I like the idea like a few of my ideas for the rest of the year are definitely very different than what I was doing. Um like I've always loved the idea of making a little short film where all of the sounds are replaced by sounds you make with your mouth.
Mhm.
I think that would be so funny.
Okay, so, like
I almost a sneeze there.
yeah.
Uh,
So what would that look like?
like well you'd record everything and then I think you'd basically go back and do crappy Foley with your mouth. You just like make all the noises into it. You'd like watch it and make all the noises
Oh,
into a
I
microphone.
see, like, you're scoring the film
Exactly.
with,
Yeah, yeah.
like, a cappella
But
with
instead
your
of real sound effects, you're just making
Oh.
everything with your mouth. Yeah, so it's like
Oh, that's
and
I think I've
it
seen stuff
sounds
like
goofy.
that.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like old school like
That's cool.
2009 YouTube claymation videos or something.
That's
I'm
really
not gonna do
cool.
claymation. I don't have the dedication for that.
Oh, I just saw this, like, animated thing that was one of Jacob Collier's songs, one of my favorite ones called Ocean Wide, Canyon Deep, and it was a fan animation,
Cool.
and I watched it, it was really good, and I wondered, like, how their vision was beautiful for what the song represents, and I was like, "How'd they do this?"
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, animation is for sure so far beyond my understanding.
Yeah.
It's cool. I totally appreciate it and really enjoy it, but I've never dabbled myself.
Have
Um,
you ever done claymation, though?
no, 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 no. I mean, that
No.
takes so long because you're
Oh,
basically moving the characters frame by frame.
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen any of the behind the scenes stuff from Wallace and Gromit
No, but I
because
love
that's
Wallace
all
and Gromit.
legit, super legit claymation. They're coming out with a new Wallace and Gromit movie like next year.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
That's gonna
stay
be
tuned. But they take like 10 years to make.
yeah.
Because you are literally moving each character. I mean, it's not 24 frames per second. It's definitely like a hot, like a lower frame rate, so you don't have to do as many. But yeah, it takes
Wow.
so much time and effort, and so many people, and so many resources,
That's a
and
whole
it's definitely. I
production.
mean, people do it by themselves, independently, 100%. So much appreciation for that because it is so hard. But people like Legos. Have you ever seen those Lego stop motion things?
Isn't the Lego movie stop motion?
I think most of it is animated,
Oh,
like
okay.
like CGI, like
Oh,
computer animation.
the
There
more
might
you
be
know.
there might be some. I think the original concept behind the Lego movie maybe is based on a video,
Okay.
but like I have a friend when I was at Emerson who did his thesis as a Lego stop motion movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so Legos are obviously very accessible and easier to manipulate than clay is,
Okay.
so that makes a big difference. But it's
Wow.
essentially stop motion with clay figures. Like that's
I
pretty
bet
much what
that
you're doing.
took a whole bunch of
Yeah,
time
totally,
too.
totally. It was really cool. It was a great final result.
Wow.
Um,
That's
but
really
but
cool.
yeah, have not tried myself.
We talked about travel.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
talked about some of the projects you're doing. I wondered if we should talk about our experience filming together, even though we didn't end up using it.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do you
yeah,
think?
yeah. Sure, I don't mind. I'm happy to talk
Um,
about it.
can we talk about music videos?
Yeah, I mean, beyond yours, I definitely haven't done a ton.
Okay.
I love music videos. I like consuming them. I
Yeah.
watch a lot. Uh, what? Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't.
Really?
I don't.
I mean, I guess I like visuals, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's a good crossover of my interests from music and video, kind of all at
Yeah.
one, and they're usually very creative, you
Mhm.
know. So that's cool. I have no idea how people come up with a lot of music video concepts.
Yeah. Sometimes they seem like they don't match the song itself, which is why I don't seem to love them as much. Like I don't reach for
Sure, that makes sense.
that type of media to consume.
Do you know the band? I think they're called OK Go.
Yes.
Have you seen their music videos?
Yes. They
No.
had that one that was like what do you call it when they dropped something and it went
The Rube Goldberg machine.
that was really
Mhm.
cool. And
Mhm.
then they have the trampoline
Mhm.
one.
They've got one that's all in like 20 seconds, but then it's all in super slow mo. Have you seen that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's like a giant chain reaction thing that happens in like
Oh,
10
okay.
seconds.
Okay.
But then the actual music video is slowed down
It
like
takes 10 seconds. I didn't
but then
realize
they slow
that.
it down to like a 4-minute song.
That's
And it's like all
really
these things
cool.
happening perfectly to the beat, all these little things like popping to every note and then like the guys look like they're singing along to the song
I thought
somehow.
that was live. Like I thought that it
No,
took
no, no,
for
no, no,
I
no.
love that video.
Yeah, it's super cool. That's like all
That's brilliant.
instantaneous kind of thing. Yeah,
Wow.
instant, but
Oh
um
man.
it's definitely a good space to be creative. I
Yeah.
don't think music videos have a lot of rules, and it's a great excuse to find your
Ways
creative
to do it.
voice. I think it's very collaborative because it's
Mhm.
the musicians, but it's also the director and like the video people. So I think
It's a vision.
it's somehow combining whatever an artist pictures for their song
Yeah.
with what you maybe visually stylize your work like, or what you are inspired by, or something along those lines, or what's even possible. That's also a thing.
Yeah. What can we actually make happen?
But these days, a lot of things are possible. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Cole Bennett. He directs a lot of hip hop music videos that are very out there and very like he started doing it completely all himself. Like he directed, shot them, edited them, did all the special effects, everything just by himself.
Wow.
And he's now working with Eminem. You know, he now works with basically like the biggest artists in the world.
Wow.
And all from like his own idea. Super cool guy.
Wow. So yeah, I guess that's a question I have is when someone sets out, I know that we had that experience like where I wanted a music video, which I ended up not like going for a music video with that song because I just it didn't feel right. I just didn't know. I don't know. I would definitely want to make music videos, but I just need to feel that vision first.
sure.
And I reached out to you knowing that you work as a videographer, but like
2020.
in the
It's been,
industry,
like, 4 years.
I know it's been a long time. Do you see that artists are typically saying to directors, I have this vision? Does the director admire the work and reach out to the artist? How does it all work? And as an artist, that would help me to understand a little bit more because it's like I have ideas, but what do you do with that?
Yeah, it's definitely a mix. I think a music video director definitely needs to.
Dang.
Did you spill coffee?
Yeah.
Bummer. You sure it wasn't just a drop off the cup?
Oh well. No, I'm sure.
you had a way to get out of it.
Spilled.
You had a way out. But yeah, I think music video directors need to be very like have a very solid vision because even if someone comes to you with ideas, they're probably not a videographer or work in a visual medium necessarily.
Yeah.
There are plenty of musicians who are very good at that. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
you need to be able to take someone's concepts and hear what they're kind of going for and hear the song.
Make it happen.
And okay, how do we actually visually represent those things and make it look cool? You have some music video directors. Cole Bennett's a good example. Another one is Jack Begert, Begert. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he directs also a lot of super cool like hip hop music videos. I think hip hop is honestly a space where music videos are very, very kind of creative and cool and exciting. But I think people like that are very independent. Like I'm sure the people they work with give them suggestions, but at the same time, it's also part of it's like, oh, I want to work with him because he's got a cool idea. Like he's really creative, and his style is all over the place, and it could be anything. Who knows, right?
Wow.
So I think they seem like very creative people with very strong visions, who I'm sure are also pretty strongly collaborative as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think artists would continue to be so like excited to work with them if they also were just like, here's my idea, this is what we're doing. You know, most musicians I would imagine are not a fan of being told what to do like that.
Yeah. You got that right.
but yeah, it's a cool space, and it's definitely something I would do more of. I honestly haven't been involved myself a ton. Yeah, like when we shot that, I mean, yeah, so that was 4 years ago. I definitely also know way more personally now. You know, I mean, you just get more experience, you do more stuff. That makes a difference. Shocking, I know.
Yeah, right. That time is actually passing.
Like at the time, I also definitely didn't know what I know now about camera work and lighting and stuff like that. And so it would definitely be different doing it now as well. But yeah, who knows? See what we can cook up in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The vision is clearer and clearer. So maybe we can talk a little bit about collaboration.
Ooh, yeah.
And
totally.
What happens when you have a vision that you need help? What does that look like for you in your field and what you do?
Well, I like film and television because it is super collaborative. You can do things independently, and people do very successfully, but of the vast majority of the time, productions are collaborative. Requires a village, You need a team of people that know what they're doing.
It requires a village.
I know, that was such a weird way to say that.
I like it. Requires a village.
Yeah, some people say it takes a village. I would say it requires at least a small town. Especially, I mean, that's why big productions are so big, because they want to do things fast. And they have budgets to afford to hire that many people.
Where do they get the money?
Studios have...
Like, if you don't have a former success, then how do people do it?
I could not tell you. I have not cracked that one yet.
Right. And neither have I. But we'll
do
get
this
there.
again in like 10 years. And
we'll be like, remember 5 years ago?
But yeah, so I think I don't know. I like those team elements. I like when you surround yourself with super talented people that you really trust to do their part. I think that's really satisfying, and not every director is as good at
Yeah.
that. But I think it's a really important skill to be able to delegate and to communicate what you want to the people that can create it 10 times better than you can.
Yeah.
That's a good director is just like the center, and everything
Mhm.
kind of branches out from there. You have a lot of directors that want to do everything and like, you know, say that they also like shoot the best and that they also act the best and that kind of thing.
Mhm. They
So
wanna do it all.
yeah, which and some people can, like, I feel like a small number of people definitely successfully achieve that,
Mhm.
but I enjoy that it takes a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there's something nice to a piece of art that even though it might be a central idea from one person or a couple people, everyone works together to create it. Not a lot of art is like that.
Mhm.
Music's kind of like that, I think there's a lot more people these days that do music by themselves
Yeah.
because it's pretty easy to record and mix and do all that stuff on your own when you learn
Mhm.
how. I don't want to say easy, I guess, but you still have a scaled version of that with studios and with recording engineers
Mhm.
and with A&R and all these different kinds of things. So there's layers to it, right?
Mhm.
There's levels to it and like different ways to do it at different costs.
Mhm.
But I like working with people. And that's one thing I find funny about the videos I've been making is they're all by myself,
Yeah.
which is nice creatively. I have all the control I want,
Mhm.
but it's also fun to get ideas from someone because they probably have ideas you don't have, and you don't know what that leads to either.
Yeah.
So
And then before you know it, you have a whole production.
exactly.
Goodness.
So and like even on the show I work on, it feels collaborative. I'm not calling almost any of the shots. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's
You're still in it though,
exactly.
and
And
you
and if
still
and if,
matter
and if
there.
like and if we're in a situation and now that I'm shooting properly, like more and more, I have the space to say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Like this angle, like I need to be here, and you're in my shot or something.
Yeah.
Not all the time, not everywhere. I'm like the third.
Literally calling the
Exactly.
shots.
ABC. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm third in
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
So not a lot of the time, but it still is cool.
You have a voice,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And that's the
Mhm.
advantage of having stuck around and the people I work with trusting me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
that's amazing,
yeah.
and that sounds wonderful, and it's really cool to hear about
Your computer is asleep.
your
Is that
experience.
still fine?
It's honestly so great to hear about what you're up to,
Thank you.
and thank you for talking about your
Thanks for
craft
asking.
and yeah, maybe someone who's aspiring to do what you do or who's into it or
Yeah, shoot me a DM. I don't know. I'll,
yeah,
I'll answer questions. I don't know if I have all the answers, but
totally. It's just cool to learn about different creatives, I think. And also I think we should share like where we met. I think that is just an example of
Espana.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like we met in Spain. There's a program there, Berkeley, Valencia, and then they also have Emerson students.
Yeah, Emerson students go through Berkeley, I think, is
Yeah.
how it works.
It's
Yeah.
like this
Pro Arts
consortium
Consortium?
of
Yeah,
types.
yeah, yeah.
And so we met there. You were visiting a friend
Mm-hmm.
in the Emerson program.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it was like, "Oh my gosh, you're a videographer, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
singer.
Mm-hmm.
We've collaborated. We're those types of friends. We've never seen each other in the same place twice."
Yeah,
Like
right.
that's the
Right.
connection. That's like I think a representation of that type of connection in the industry even. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're both always bopping around and that's
Totally.
just the
Totally.
nature of the beast.
Yeah. And you're never gonna be in well, I don't know, I guess I don't want to say never, but it's refreshing to move around and I don't get to see everyone all the time maybe, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have relationships both personal and professional that you just get back together and it's like, cool, where did we leave off?
Yeah. What's up?
That's
Where you moving to?
that's really
Where you
yeah,
headed? Where you
exactly,
traveling?
exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm just moving across the country in like 3 weeks. No big deal. Yeah. Oh, I'm off for 6 weeks in Europe. Look at us go. So, very fortunate.
Yep. Yes.
Very
Very
grateful.
spontaneous, very
Yeah.
creative. It's awesome.
Yeah, just a little pat on the back for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you
This
so
has been
much,
fun. Cool.
Thomas. Thanks for being on today.
Till
And
the next one.
till the next time.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We're good.
Nice.